Maybe it's just not meant to happen. I've tried everything.
Am I sexy?
Of course you
Yes, I am.
Jesus. Jennifer! Even went on this dating website specifically for virgins and I got one response from a 12-year-old Chinese boy.
You turn 30 on Sunday, don't you? Right, well, I promise you now, you're going to lose your virginity before you're 30. This is my present to you, my brother. This has got to work fast. I don't think, act, off your pop.
Would you like to go out for a fuck time in lotion?
Oh, shit.
Fun. Fun time in London.
Yeah, we'd love to, wouldn't we?
Yeah.
You'd love what? Roy.
Absolutely not.
Syringe. Chloroform. Knife. Let's do this.
Ladies! So you're sisters then?
Yeah.
Cool. That's cool. I think I'm having a panic attack, all right? It just doesn't make any sense, does it? Why would these two beautiful girls just turn up out of the blue and be interested in us?
What if we let them go? This gym's really nice, it's different from the others. You are doing it. Tonight.
Let me have a fucking minute.
Lulu and Kitty. Sounds like strippers' names. But you're not strippers. Shame.
You're one light. We could have forked out for another light bulb.
Brilliant film. Audience loved it. Comedy horror can be really hard to pull off. So, what was the approach to make sure that it worked as both comedy and horror?
Who wants that?
I don't know.
I think we tested it, so I think you never really know, so it always starts with the script. So we worked as hard as possible to find the balance in there. And actually, I think Danny could probably talk about this, but I think it began life really as a horror film, or the intention was a horror film that kind of built on the comedy side, more as the script.
Yeah, I was too nervous to call it a comedy because there's too much pressure, because you have to be funny. So I thought, well, let's just make a horror film that might be a little bit funny, because there's a lot of shit horror. So I thought, well, we can only be slightly better than most horror films. That was the only thing I wanted it to be.
Slightly better than most horror
Slightly
films.
better than shit horror films.
Good to aim high.
That was my goal.
But the script was kind of laugh out loud funny, and I think the reason I wanted to do it, was because I met Danny and I loved Danny, and hopefully everyone who watched it knows that when you spend time with Danny, you kind of fall for his charm and his lovability and all the rest of it.
Yeah, just about that, it's really Matt who kind of spearheaded a lot of that in terms of, we weren't really, no one knew Danny as a writer, we were kind of dicking around, and it was very much Matt kind of pushing forward with it.
But the script made me laugh out loud. And it's not that often that you read a script that it's on the page funny, and then you go, God, I hope we can translate it, but it was actually on the page funny. So.
And did you have any kind of touchstones in terms of like films that you wanted it to kind of be like, or kind of that were influences on it?
I mean, going back, obviously Shaun of the Dead is like a sort of high watermark for comedy horror, but then even going back before that, I remember Matt talking about the werewolf one.
After Hours, actually.
The werewolf one.
Scorsese's film After Hours, I know that probably seems a little bit oblique, but a film that takes place in one night, the central protagonist is kind of bamboozled. It's a slightly episodic thing, but every event that he finds himself at, he doesn't quite know where he fits in.
Yeah, and to be fair as well, a lot of the creative conversations that went on and I mean this with total respect, because Edgar Wright's amazing and it's a brilliant film, but we were never talking Shaun of the Dead. We were always, like, I was, you know, sort of riffing folk horror a bit. I love 70s horror. Dario Argento came into it a bit. But then on top of that, you've kind of got silly comedy that I think Danny's referencing. With Swingers came into it a lot. With me and Danny love With Nail and Eye and all those stuff. You can't see that in these films. Two guys, the character, loudmouth guy. You can sort of, if you look, you can see it a little bit of. So I think there's a lot going on in the film, but it's all in little layers spread around.
I think one of the things that's really good about the film is just the chemistry between the cast and you know, first of all, how did you go about, you know, did you know any of the other cast beforehand? You know, did you do a kind of bonding session to get to know them? Because it's really effective in the film, I think. Just, you know, the two friendships that are going on and the relationships that are developed throughout the film.
Yeah, well, that was always very important to us. It was always about those two relationships, the two friends, because that goes back years, and then the two sisters, obviously. Those needed to feel authentic, and so basically we had Kelly Wenham, who plays Kitty. She came into an audition when we were shooting a little 3-minute teaser to try and raise money. She came into the audition and she grabbed me by the hair and slammed me against the wall. And I thought, she scared the shit out of me, so we thought, okay, she's in. And then,
just because you were scared.
I was terrified, I was too scared to say no, like, okay, you can do it. And then she held on to the part. And then actually a week before we started shooting, we didn't have a Lulu or a Alice.
Yeah, soccer.
Yeah, or a soccer. And so our casting director, first of all, threw us in a room with Georgia, and Georgia can tell us about that meeting. What do you think, Georgia? Come on.
Yeah, it was a week before they called, said, do you want to come in? And I said, yes. And then I got the part. There's not a huge amount more to it. We went in, we met first for like a chat and coffee. They brought me a coffee, which was nice. And then
That's all it took.
Not Ben.
So essentially, when you were desperate for great talent, you came for two actors who were based in or trained in the East Midlands.
Midland States, Midlands
Yeah,
talent,
yeah.
100%. No, it was our casting director, Anna Kennedy, suggested Georgia for Lulu, and I knew Georgia from London to Brighton. Devastating performance, but I also knew Georgia from Angus Thongs, and it was like, okay, here's someone who's very smart, great on camera, and
Yeah,
really
and also, to, you know, picking up Georgia, like we did meet a lot of actresses, so there were loads of actresses we met, and we only did one chemistry read, but it was actually in the interview that we got talking, and you know, Georgia seemed.
That's when I knew I got it.
Yeah.
I was surprised when they were like, you have to come in and read. I was like, what? Smash that chat. But it was nice. I met Danny, and then we didn't really meet. I met Kelly like a couple of days before we started shooting, and obviously I've known Michael since I was about 6. He was my sister's first boyfriend. So
Didn't know that.
I knew him.
Didn't know that.
She's here.
She?
Sat in there somewhere.
You missed out there.
Her first
Let
kiss.
go.
I would say you dodged a bullet.
Yeah.
Sure.
So that was wicked though, like getting to work with Mike was, we've never done it before, so it was really cool.
And how was it for you? I mean, your character is kind of torn, but yeah, yours is one character who's torn between two worlds, really, between your sister and this other kind of more innocent world with Jim. How was that in terms of like finding the headspace to create that kind of character? Was it weird having to kind of zigzag between the two things of, well, my sister's a homicidal murderer, but I like this sweet virgin guy?
Yeah, I don't know, I kind of quite early on took the tack that she didn't really want to be there, but you have to, you know, sister loyalty. And she didn't really have another choice because she's living in this kind of messed up world. But it wasn't, I mean, it was all in the script, and yeah, it was kind of quite straightforward. I think the way it's written is that Kitty's kind of evil and hard to get along with, and then there's one lovable guy, Michael, coming up.
And also, I think she's playing it down a little bit in terms of, I mean, Georgia was great in terms of, you know, you giving her a role where I think a lot of it is emotionally watching her, kind of how she's reacting to what's going on around her, and yeah.
We were just saying, it's like, I don't really say very much, and we realised they're trying to send a clip of me and Michael, and we don't actually interact in the film.
Yeah, they never talk to each other. I don't think they even look at each other.
We were saying, like, I just didn't really have any lines, which was great. I didn't even realise until I was a bit hungover one day, sorry Mum. But I'd been out the night before, and we were doing night shoots, and they were like, oh, are you okay? And I was like, it's fine, I've got no lines. I had a look in the script, and my line was nothing. That's all I had to say. And that was quite nice. It was night shoots as well. Like, it was hard work. It wasn't an easy...
But it was a fun crew, right?
It
You
was
made
really fun.
friends
Really,
with
really
everyone,
fun.
and it was good. You know, it's good vibe.
And were you always going to play Jim? Was that always the kind of... Was,
Oh God, yeah. I mean,
you'd never known that one.
No, I basically only wrote this film so I could play a lead role in a film. Because no one else is giving the big, chubby ginger guy the romantic lead, so I was like, fuck it, I'll write myself one. And so yeah, in the character description in the script, it was like, Jim is 6'1", he's ginger, he looks like this. I put my passport photo in it. And Matt was really good in terms of kind of shepherding it and making sure I was always that part. And yeah, so no one was taking that. They'd have to pry it out my cold, dead hands.
But we talked about it a little bit, and I think one of the fun things about this story is it takes the B narrative, which is the best friend, and how the best friend does, and puts it in the protagonist role.
Yeah.
So I really enjoyed that as an approach to the film.
And one of the sort of highlight scenes is the family scene, obviously with your family. Was that at all drawn from life? At all, or was that just complete kind of invention? Did your family have a song?
No, we didn't have a song. I've got a very, very sweet, lovely family. They're all ginger, by the way. I've got a ginger mum and a ginger dad, so I'm a pedigree. I'm pretty much a purebred ginger. But they're very nice and sweet and lovely, and it's not very funny. So I wrote, the original version of it was just a kind of nice, quaint family scene. And the boys were like, look, let's beef this up a bit. Let's make this a bit more comedy and a bit more extreme. So make it the total opposite of Alex's dad, who's a complete waster living in a caravan. And so you've got this really squeaky clean, happy clappy Christian family. And
Doing pills with a Christian family. Then.
Doing pills with a Christian family, exactly, that's it. So that extreme, and suddenly when we wrote that, it heightened the comedy. And having Georgia sat there looking...
It was genuinely one of the best nights of my life. The girl that plays his sister is one of the funniest people I've ever met. Like, I laughed. They did it about 15 times, and I was barely laughing every time.
That's Eri Jackson, and she wrote the comedy song as well. Who plays my sister? She wrote that song, and she showed it to me. She played it to me on the piano, and I went, oh God, my whole skin turned inside out. And I was like, that's so cringy and perfect, don't change it.
It was basically one of the last scenes we shot, but because the song is such an earworm, we were on set all the time singing the Turner song, desperate to get to the day when we were going to actually see it.
That's right.
Another one of the standout scenes is obviously the fight scene at the end, which is just incredible. How much of that was on the page, and how much of that was developed in terms of rehearsal, and how did that kind of get constructed?
It basically came from there being I can't remember what it was there originally, but
in the script I wrote, they have a fight. And Ben went, can I do something here? I was like, yeah, go for it. And that happened.
Yeah, and that was probably the most hard work I put into a scene. So it was all shot before in a dojo with a couple of stunts and mapped out 100-page panels of storyboarding. Production designers building a room I could smash up, and then 2 days with 2 cameras and
completely ring-fenced in production. These 2 days, nothing else is going to happen.
Yeah.
Shit is going to get ruined.
Yeah. That was the one. In fact, it was one of the major. I guess the basement scene in that. They were when you're doing films, it's like the schedule changes because money's running out, whatever. And very, kindly, Matt was always very protective with me. It's like we've got to keep these last 2 acts like as big as we can get it. But yeah, full credit to also Soccer and Wenham, because Wenham did 3 months of kickboxing and just like crash dieted, loads of weights, 5 days in the gym, and Soccer's a boxer anyway. And we really tried to kind of have 360 lighting. So actually what you'll see, the way you see them performing it, like I'm giving them the direction of like, it's very tight what you've got to do, they knew what they had to do, but all of that shit that Soccer's doing, and it's just all them, they're just improvising.
Yeah, Soccer, sorry, I keep calling him Soccer, it's Michael. I call him the Sock. He basically made up all that dialogue. So we got onto set, and first time we watched it, we were like, oh my God, is this too much? But when we looked back at it afterwards, we were like, this is perfect. He's reacting exactly how any man would react. He doesn't want to hit her. He knows he shouldn't hit her, but he's fighting for his life, and he So all the things he was saying, like, come on, love, can we have a fucking truce? All those things were just perfect, because they were funny, but they were also very grounded in
He really hit
reality.
the tone bang on, I think.
Yeah.
You're also very good in the East Midlands accent, I have to say. It's very much appreciated by our audience.
Sorry, it's a bit Mancunian. Basically, all northern accents, I need to work on that, sorry.
The music's great in the film. How did you get Goat on board? Because
I have a mate's band called Teeth of the Sea who are signed to the same record label. They're an East London band. I'm in East London. In fact, the guys in the band's a really old friend of mine, and then I just on the same record label. And actually, it's one of the biggest highlights for me that, you know, a band that I thought were amazing and I'm constantly attracted to all the time to do the film. Were just incredibly, like, really, really cool Swedish guys who they wouldn't, just a thing, like, they wouldn't even do Jules Holland for this film. They were like, we asked them to go on, do Jules Holland, promote the film. They're like, nah, we don't do promotion, we don't do anything, we don't give a shit, we don't care. But
they were like, cool!
Yeah, well, it's like, all right, whatever. But on the flip side, they're like, we'll do anything you want for this film, we'll score it. Me and Danny flew out to Sweden, worked in their studio. And me and Danny actually got in the cab at the end and left when we left their studio, and it was a moment for us of just sitting there going, oh my God, we just watched like raw talent at work. And they were just going, like, what do you want? What do you want? We're like, can you play this bass line? They just would do what we wanted. They were amazing.
And for the film, they played an entire 1 hour set to an private audience of like 60 people.
Yeah, so all the gig scenes are all real gig scenes, and we gave beer out, mold cameras, and just shot it all for real.
But it's like you're stood in a warehouse with Goat, who not only are awesome, like, audibly, but just put on an insane live show with all the masks and the...
I didn't know who we were. They were just like, yeah man, cool, let's do it. You know, it was incredible.
Brilliant. Well, I'd like to open it up to the audience if there's anybody